Alright guys, welcome back to Mr. Post Frame. This is the Solo Barndo Build, day 13. My plan was to put roof steel on me because of weather, wind, all that stuff. I pivoted and we go ahead and put in our frost protection, and we did window boxes. So for frost protection, we use a product called Hitz Halter. It's a great product. It's got tons of great benefits. It's got vapor barrier built in. It's got terminicide in it. It's got grid lines. There's just a bunch of awesome things about it, so you can check out a link in the description for more about that. But let's go ahead and jump into the show. Alright, so first thing I'm going to do, these are always difficult to get in when there's chains in the way. I don't want to take my chains down if the building's all square. It's super windy. I'll just have to try to work it in there. Quarter. So I'm going to measure the length of this bay, which is 91 1/4. So I'll cut my piece down to 91 1/4 quick. I'm gonna set it in the bay, and then I'm literally just gonna take a saw, cut up. I know I need to cut up to the second line. Then on both sides. Cut just a hair off that. That's it. So cut it the width first, set it up there, notch it each corner, slide it in there, push it down. I use some cap nails to hold it on there, backfill from both sides, and you're done. Alright, so the water line needs to come up on the inside of the interior girt. The electrician wants the electrical coming up in between the grade board and the interior girt. So I've kind of got those set where I want them, so I can get my insulation in there. I put that board up there just so I'd have an idea where everything's going to go. I think it's going to work out pretty good. Alright guys, this video is going to be on making your window boxes. So one thing that I always do, you have your plans that have your window locations on them, window sizes, but what we do, and it's very important to do, is get the actual information from the windows that you bought to get the rough opening. If you don't do that, there's the possibility that the rough opening is going to differ from what's on your plans. I know that doesn't make any sense, but when you do plans, you put in a window size and you have the rough opening. But when you actually buy your windows from the manufacturer, a 3x5 window could have a couple different rough openings depending on the model, the manufacturer, all that kind of stuff. So I always get a printed copy of the sales order for the windows that has the rough opening. So now that I have that, I'm going to go through and make a list of all the windows that I have with the rough openings, and then I can cut all of my 2x6 for my window boxes. I have to plane them down because I have planed columns, so I have to cut them down from 5.5 inches to 5 3/8 so they fit inside that column, and then we will put them together. All right, couple things. The first number is your width, second number is your height. So you can see this is 84x72 rough opening, and you can see the first number is the width, second number is the height. So I have my list, so now I can start getting all of my 2x6 cut. What I like to do is I like to cut the height exactly what it is. So 72, this will have a 2-degree slant, so at the low side of the slant, or I guess it'll be 72 inches, so it will go a little bit above 72, and then I add 3 inches to this dimension. So I'll actually cut these boards 87, and that's because I need to add 1.5 inches to each side so it goes out past the 2x6s on the edge, and that'll make sense once I make these. See this. So when you guys are marking out your height boards, so the sides of your window that are going to have the slant, so this one needs to be 60 inches high. You want to make sure that your angle goes away from the 60-inch mark, because that's the minimum rough opening that you need. So if you were to mark that angle the other way, it would end up being less than 60, which might create you some problems. So I always mark it and then turn my square away from the line. That way I know that this is going to be a little bit longer than 60, so I know that my window will fit. So I'm about done cutting all of my boards. This is my last set. So I have them all stacked there. The next thing to do is going to be to run them through the table saw to cut them down 1/8 inch so they fit the dimension of my columns. Alright guys, so I know I want to start from this end, so I'm going to mark my 9-inch on center. So we're going to, obviously one starts here, we got 9, 6, 3, 0. 9, 6, 3, 0. Alright, so I marked that all the way down. Now I'm just going to take my square. The square I use from here to here is 1.5 inches, which is the same as my rib. I just have to mark it on both sides, and then I know when I'm laying out my windows and doors that the edge of my door and window can't land in that area. So you can see I got 9-inch on center marked, 1.5 inches is the rib, and I do that all the way down where there's going to be windows. And then when I lay my window out, I know that I want an edge of a window to land in between those ribs and the other side to land in between a rib over here. So I have this side all marked out. I know I'm going to pull from that end going this way, and I know I'm going to pull from this end going that way. All right guys, so let's see here. So you can see if you are going to cut this angle before you run it through the table saw, make sure you take material off the long side of the cut. Otherwise, again, you'll end up shorting yourself on your rough opening. So might be good for some of you just to cut plane them, rip them down before you cut your angle. But if you do cut your angle first, make sure you cut it off the long side. I always put an X on the side that I want to take the material off when I rip it. So now that we got that done, it's time to put them all together and set them out. You can see all my window boxes are made. I got it, my layout. I'm getting ready to put these in. And if you're doing this by yourself, figure out where you're going to screw it to, and then screw yourself a couple boards to hold your window box where it needs to be so you can screw it in. That's how I do this on my own. Alright guys, so we have all the window boxes set, and it's going to end up, probably all your windows are going to be a little different if you have different sizes, so I'll show you kind of the different things that happen. Any 3x5s or anything 5 foot tall, it gets set to this third girt. That way that's my support all the way across. I will have to add one across the bottom here. This kitchen window works out about perfect every time for a 42-inch tall window to go across that girt, and then the bottom of the window will screw into that girt. So that works out good. And then you got the giant windows where I'm going to have to add a nailer across the bottom and across the top. So I got a couple like that. Those windows on each side of the fireplace, those narrow ones I have to do. So we're going to get that done, and we're supposed to have some pretty severe weather tomorrow. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm not going to cut any of the girts out of the windows yet, just because that'll give it extra strength. So I'm going to get all the nailers in at the top and bottom of the windows, and then I'm going to work on all my permanent bracing to try to beef this up as much as I can. Obviously, if a tornado rolls over this, it's coming down, but I have chains up. If I can put my permanent bracing, that will help. And we'll see what happens. Alright guys, that's going to be a wrap on today's video. If you guys haven't and are going to self-build or self-GC, you need to join our Patreon group. It's a group of other self-builders, people that are general contracting their own builds. We do lives, we bring on special guests, you get to ask me questions. Check that out. If you want to design your own barndo, check out our design company, Back 40 Buildings. We can get you a good set of plans that are buildable. Check that out. As always, we appreciate you watching. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, share it with your friends, and we'll catch you on the next video.